Hey, what's going on, guys? Got a couple things for you today. First off, just went out to the mail to check because I'm expecting some parts and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the parts didn't come in. But I did get this pretty cool letter from the VA saying, on behalf of the Quilts of Valor Foundation, we would like to present you with a handmade quilt for your dedicated service to our country, and they are inviting me to come to this huge reception apparently that's taking place over in Manchester, and they're going to present me and 200 other veterans that just came back from the war with a quilt. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's not going to be for a few months, but I don't know, maybe I will get some video of that and throw it up there just to, you know, it's nice to see that people actually care. I've come back a couple times and run into some people that have told me that, you know, you're going to go to hell for the stuff that you went over there and did. It's like, well, you first, pal. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. First thing up on the block is this nerve right here. Now, as you guys might know, there was only one private label nerve that ever made it to production. That was the Nasty nerve. This is a half Nasty nerve. Now the story with these is that after they made the Nasty nerves and they got discontinued, Smart Parts had a bunch of parts left over, except for the Nasty bodies, and they basically just took some stock nerve bodies, gave them a couple weird anos, like this one is olive, there was an orange one, a cobalt one, some colors that didn't come with stock nerves, and then they put on the Nasty parts that they had left, this milled LPR right here, if you can see that, this milled back block, the Nasty trigger, it's actually got a little X right in the middle of it, and right there you can see on the front the Nasty milled reg. Other than that, they're functionally the same as a stock nerve. There is nothing different with these, being that it's a stock body. But, you know, if you guys didn't know, if you guys don't know what a nerve is, I think I only saw about 2 of us up there that had nerves. And there's a really solid gun that Smart Parts made, and it was really undermined by the SFT Shocker when they came out. It is a poppet valve, and it's a really great shooting gun, and they actually they made this really easy for maintenance. And so if you just twist that right there and pull it out, there's your bolt. It's a completely different bolt. There's no O-rings involved. So maintenance is as simple as wiping this off. And the story is back in you know, the early 2000s, 2000, 2001, 2002, when they were designing their gun to replace the Impulse, which was dominant in the tournament scene at the time. They were designing the nerve, and basically what happened is in late 2001 to early 2002, they were presented with the idea with the SFT Shocker, and basically just took that idea and ran with it. They put the nerve on the shelf and completely forgot about it. Went and designed the SFT Shocker and brought out the SFT Shocker in 2003. After that, they went back to the nerve project, finished it, but at that point, they put the nerve, when they came out, they marketed at $1,200 MSRP. But at that time, you know, this is a really large and heavy gun compared to the SFT Shocker. SFT Shocker was marketing for the $800 range, whereas the nerve was coming out at $1,200. There was no real distinct advantage to buying a nerve over an SFT Shocker. The Shockers were quieter, they were lighter, they were smaller, lots of people liked them, and really the nerve went under pretty quick. They didn't make it past late 2004, 2005, they cut production, which goes hand in hand with why there's only one private label nerve. But nerve shares a lot of the same features as the SFT Shocker. You got right here, it's on the opposite side, but it uses that same reflective eye. The frames on the SFT Shocker and the nerve are actually interchangeable. The only difference is that the back end of the nerve right there, that screw is actually just the same screw that a Tauntaun frame uses. And you can swap the frames back and forth. The boards are the same, the triggers are the same, and the regs are the same. Pretty much anything that's not the body itself between the Shocker and the nerve is the same. But we're basically going to rip this thing apart, and we're going to take the noid out of it, and we're going to throw it in this baby right here, the Strange SFT Shocker that I picked up not too long ago, so we can get this thing shooting. Now unfortunately I was going to do a quick shooting video, but I am out of air. I spent 2 air tanks doing a couple takes trying to get all the shooting video for those 2 impulses. Those things are pretty big gas hogs. So we're going to start taking this thing apart, and you know, we'll see what we can get. Alright, you guys may have noticed earlier in the video I was using this stupid big block of Allen keys. You know, it's cool, it's got all the Allen keys in there, they don't go anywhere. But it's really a pain in the ass to take screws out of a gun and stuff like that with these stupid little stubby short keys and a big block attached to it. Anyway, I do have more, and I have plenty of parts and tons of tools and stuff like that. However, I moved back up from Florida about a month ago, and I realized that I left my entire kit of tools and parts and massive kit, left it at a buddy's house. So he shipped it to me, but it's not here yet. So I had to go buy some. So, back to it. Now when you guys are, if you guys are ever taking apart your shockers, or nerves if you have them, and you're taking apart this eye ribbon, you need to be sure and not damage the eye ribbon. It is really, really easy to do that. And there is a hardened piece at the end of the ribbon itself. That's what you're gonna want to grab, and just very carefully wiggle that back and forth and start pulling it out. These things are really easy to damage, and sometimes you can do it and not even realize it. And you'll think there's something wrong with your eyes, you'll think there's something wrong with your board, something like that. And it's not good, because then you're sitting there and you don't know what to buy, and you end up buying parts that you don't need and all kinds of stuff. Waste of money. What you're going to do here is just going to take these 2 screws off, using this is a 1/16 Allen wrench. And the noise is going to come right off like that. And you know, this manifold is red. If you guys are looking at your shockers, the manifold's probably going to be, some of the early ones were silver, but most of them were anodized black at that point. There is a difference between these 2 manifolds. The manifold on the nerve is not exactly the same as the SFT Shocker, or the NXT Shocker for that matter. And if you put a nerve manifold on a shocker, it will not work. It will leak, and vice versa. I pulled out 2 manifolds, and here they are. You can see there's a red one here and there's a black one here. This is a nerve manifold, this is a shocker manifold. Now, they look pretty much the same, but if you do swap them, they will leak, so don't do it. Now, sitting right across here, the 3 holes, you can only see this one only has one of the O-rings sitting in it. That's because the other 2 fell out. They're in this bag sitting right here. But both of them have a set of 3 O-rings on either side. So, as you can see there, this one has all 3 in it, this one doesn't. But you can see the difference there on the other side with the milling, and how these O-rings are placed, and how that inset is actually shaped. It's hard to see on the black one, but you can see these 2 elongated O-rings on the red manifold here. Those are actually diagonal compared to this one on this black manifold. And basically what you would do if you wanted to service this is stick a Q-tip or a paper towel. Paper towel is generally a better option because you're not going to get any fibers or anything in this thing. You're going to want to clean out the debris, any extra grease that's floating in there. I don't really recommend taking out the O-rings just because they're tiny and they are easy to lose. So what you want to do is take a tiny amount of grease and just make sure those O-rings are good, just so they don't, enough so they don't dry out. It is different than the amount that you would, you know, put on the bolt guide. You would liberally grease the bolt guide, but this is different because you don't want grease getting sucked up into your noid here. So that's that, and we'll get back to the noid, and we're going to throw it in the SFT Shocker over there. So with solenoids, the big difference with these things is the Humphrey and the Parker solenoids. So the Humphrey solenoid, the upper board actually detaches, and it's just 2 gold prongs that slide in right in the back right here. And once you take these screws out, you can actually just slide this upper board out. This Parker solenoid, the board is actually soldered into the noid itself right here with these 2 pins. Now you can swap out the board, you can desolder these 2 pins. It looks like somebody's already done it with this one. but this board works just fine. You can desolder these two and swap out the upper board, and until, like I said, I've got a few other upper boards, so I'll probably do that to the Noid and pull out of that SFT Shocker at some point, just not right now, not a project I want to start at this point. And so let's get this thing going and get this thing in the shop. Alright, here we got the Strange SFT Shocker. I told you I picked up a little while ago. If you were curious as to if there's anything special about this thing besides the milling, actually really not too much. It's mostly just the milling. As you can see, it's got a really nice, beautiful mill job. It has this huge deep cut in here. It's actually a massive cut that cuts right through the body, and I'll show you that here as I take the barrel out. You can see that actually just coming straight out. And that cut is actually big enough to get my finger in. If I can get my finger now, see? There you go. It's a massive cut. It doesn't affect the gun's performance at all. It just makes it so you can see the end of the barrel. It's more for style than anything else. And unlike a couple of the other private label SFTs, you'll see the milling doesn't penetrate the body anywhere except for up here where it doesn't matter. Like you might see in a couple of the other private labels that actually has windows in the side. That actually prevents the amount of bolt kit upgrades you can use. Like the new designs, the ultra low pressure firing can is actually completely milled out, so if you do get a gun that's got the windows and stuff right here, that's got holes punctured in the side, you actually can't use that because it would breach the airflow. The other things that came on here, the reg and the vertical adapter are obviously milled. The trigger is milled. It's the Strange trigger. It's basically just a stock SFT trigger milled down. The bolt guide itself is milled, and you can see that right in the back. This is not the stock feed neck that came on here. The stock feed neck was back in 03, is more of a high rise. It probably came up to about here. It came stock with the freak barrel, and it came stock with the nerve board that had the debounce setting, the ramping setting that everybody knows shockers for. And that's about it for custom features. Obviously, I've got some nice hybrid grips going on here. But there's nothing besides that. There's nothing really special about the fact that people love the milling on this thing, and this is clearly, besides the GMAX Shocker, the most desired private label.